Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast, a hybrid structure encompassing health, fitness, self-improvement, and entertainment, where no topic is off limits and all opinions are graciously welcomed.
Let's get on with the show!
And now, here's the host of the show, Mike Sinopoli.
Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli, certified nutrition coach, consultant, counselor, call me whatever you like. We are headed into the week of Thanksgiving. Therefore, this episode will be dedicated to thankfulness and gratitude and how they are different and how you may or may not know that they are different and how I never knew that they were very different. I thought they were two words that were very synonymous with each other. I'll get into that. We'll talk about some food. Of course, that's what Thanksgiving is primarily shown to us as, is food. What are we cooking? What are we making? What's on the table? We'll go through what's the best and what's the worst, according to Americans and myself. And I'll also give you, of course, a few tips, like I did last episode, on how to maneuver your way through this holiday. Not so much with food and calories and macros, but with your head and your relationship with food and what you're thinking and what's clouding your connection with your family and yourself based on your thoughts of food. So a little of everything here. We're going to kind of just shoot the shit, keep it casual. I'm going to tell you straight up, like I just said, thankfulness and gratitude to me were very synonymous for several years. And they still are in some cases to me, and I'm learning a lot about it. And I want to let you know I'm not preaching to you here. I am currently trying to establish more gratitude in my life. And I'm going to explain to you how that is different from thankfulness. And if you know anything more about this, please hit me up. And I'll give you my handles and my contact info like I always do at the end of the show. So thankfulness is considered more of a reaction, okay? And gratitude is a state of being. Now, what does that mean? So thankfulness is being a reaction. It's when somebody says something nice to you, you say thank you. You appreciate that. It's something external. Thankfulness is about the external. Thankfulness is when somebody gives you a gift. When somebody helps you with something, you say thank you. You're appreciative. However, thankfulness fades away, which is why that term, what have you done for me lately, kind of comes up. Like, hey, I'm thankful for this person, but do I have actual gratitude for this person? I'm thankful for their action. I'm thankful for the piece of material they gave me. I'm thankful for that. But that doesn't really, that's kind of like when you have all these possessions, but you don't feel lost inside and you feel empty. Those possessions do nothing because you're thankful for them. Maybe you're not actually grateful for them. I'm not saying you shouldn't be grateful for them, but you have to find a way to become grateful for them. I don't have that answer yet. I'm working on that for myself. So gratitude is a state of being. Now, if you take thankfulness and gratitude, and because I'm going to tie this to the fitness world because that's kind of what I do. So if you take motivation and discipline, those two, okay, yeah, they're a little different. But you know what? Motivation is that feeling, right? That fleeting feeling that comes and goes, where thankfulness is very similar to that. It doesn't stick. Thankfulness, you're thankful for a bit and then you kind of move on. That's kind of motivation. You're motivated for a little bit, then that feeling just kind of goes away and you don't keep it. Discipline keeps going for forever, to where you've changed something inside of you and you have a new way of life because of the discipline. That goes with fitness. Fitness, when you start something out, you have that crash of motivation that just hits you and you just want to go and go. And that'll last for 2 or 3 days, but then that goes away. It flies away, and all of a sudden your motivation is not there. That's where you need discipline to come in. And that's how people are taking this whole fitness route and having success with it, because they find the discipline and they don't really look at the motivation too much. Take motivation as it comes, as a bonus. Kind of like thankfulness. Somebody does something nice for you, take it as a bonus. You can't rely on them. You can't rely on other people for that internal gratitude feeling. That is an inside job, and that's the hardest way to go, because we can be thankful for all kinds of things that we have and we're given, but it doesn't hit us inside. I think thankfulness is more of a logical type thing, like, okay, they gave me something, I have it, wow, that was nice, thank you. And you might not even feel anything inside when you get it, you're just thankful. And just like, okay, that's what we do, we say thank you. And gratitude, being a state of being, that's something that carries on when nobody does anything for you. So being grateful and having gratitude inside is kind of being okay when things aren't going well. when you maybe don't feel like you have anything to be thankful for, you have to still have that gratitude to keep yourself up and happy and content. And that's the struggle for several people. And that's why thankfulness fades and gratitude remains. That's a big difference right there. Completely shows the difference. One is temporary and one is a way of life. Gratitude is a way of life. It deepens our interconnections with ourself, where thankfulness, that remains outside. And that's okay to take those in. And you have to remember that is just something external. And that's not going to bring you that internal gratitude. It's not one and the same. Thankfulness will be a present interaction, and gratitude is a lifelong relationship with yourself. That's really just how that is. And then you can always figure that out in a way of practicing gratitude. You can be thankful in the moment, and anyone can be thankful. You tell a kid who just got a bike for Christmas from his grandmother, that, hey, go say thank you to your grandma for the bike. The kid will go, okay, thank you, grandma. The kid's excited for the bike and now learns as practice, as a way to say thank you to somebody, that's just kind of what we do. It's a nice gesture. You thank your grandmother for the gift. It's all external. If that kid probably doesn't feel much gratitude right there for it, because that bike is not going to bring that kid internal happiness in the long run. It's going to be a cool thing to have for a while, but eventually the bike is going to become a routine thing. There's not going to be as much appreciation or gratitude for it because it's just something you have now, whereas that thankfulness, has worn off, and grandma has to now outdo herself the next Christmas for the same type of thankfulness. But finding that gratitude for these people is not about gifts. It's not about what they do for you or what they can give you. It's about appreciating their actual being and the connection that you have with them. So I have this list here from a website. It's called 100percentpure.com. There's gratitude versus thankfulness. And is there a difference? It goes through a lot of different things I just talked about, so I'm not going to go ahead and regurgitate that. And a lot of these might give you a little bit of an eye roll to what you can do to start being grateful inside. And again, I apologize that I don't have a concrete answer for you, because I don't think there is one. And I think there's a different answer for internal gratitude for every person as an individual. And I think their process will differ in every which way. But I believe there are some good starting points. So the first one from this list here of how to practice gratitude with 10 easy steps is to recognize each day as a gift. Okay, if you wake up every day and you're just thankful flat out for waking up, but you might feel that right now. You might think that right now, well, I am happy I woke up, but do you really feel it in you? It's logical. You got to separate the logic in your brain that says, yeah, of course I'm thankful. Duh. Like, I woke up today. Why wouldn't I be thankful? But are you? Do you feel it? Do you feel gratitude? You're thankful because you woke up, right? But do you have gratitude for it? I don't think so. I think a lot of people are confused by that, even me. You can keep a gratitude journal. That's number 2. You write down even the smallest things every day that make you happy. And then, gratitude doesn't have to be for something huge. It's just little things that add up to reasons why just when nothing's going on, you can sit there and be truly at peace. You could do the same thing in a jar. Write things down, fill up a jar, and then when you need a boost or something like that, you can pull some things out of that and see it. It sounds ridiculous, even to me right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sounds stupid. I'm flat out saying it sounds stupid. But you know what? Sometimes what we resist is what will help us the most. So thinking something is just fucking stupid because it's on some website and it just sounds very cookie cutter, it may actually work for you because you've just resisted it for so long. Number 4 is a gratitude walk. Walking is a great exercise, of course. I'm a huge fan of walking and that's another mind change I had. And I can tell you that, kind of talking about how resisting something or thinking something's nonsense, I have found walking in the last couple of years has been one of the most important things that I've taken on as a regular thing. I do my steps. I go out for walks out in nature. That is just one of my favorite things to do. I've always been into it as more of a cardio, fitness, fat loss, physique type thing as an adder. But now it's completely different. It's more for longevity, mobility, inner peace, mental clarity, all kinds of things about going for a walk. So I like this one a lot. And ditch your phone, while you're doing it. If anything, just have music on and keep the phone in the pocket and just let your Spotify go with something that calms you or soothes you or inspires you. That's a good one. Also, can be a letter, email that you write to somebody. You can write somebody a letter of gratitude. That would probably work two ways. Obviously, help you establish gratitude in yourself for somebody else, and maybe that will inspire them to sort of have gratitude. I'm sure they'll be thankful at first that you wrote it, but then maybe they'll turn to some internal gratitude as well, or they'll feel what they have already even stronger based on what you've done. A gratitude get-together. So a simple get-together with somebody you're grateful for. It's similar to the email, right? You get together with somebody, see them face-to-face. This is huge, I think. I think because of what's been going on in the world, technology-wise, plus this COVID junk, people are so used to being texting and Skype or Zoom or whatever it is, that we're just losing that personal face-to-face interaction. And a lot of times this is something that you're probably resisting right now. I know I've become more resistant to face-to-face things myself over the last several years. Whether that's just, having to open the door to the pizza guy or making a phone call instead of sending a text or whatever it is. It just seems like, we want to just be in our own little bubble and just stay away. I don't know how healthy this is for humans in the long run, to be honest with you, but we'll find out. See beauty in others. Start up a conversation with a stranger, it says. There's nothing better than putting a smile on someone's face. The smallest things make all the difference in making another person feel even more valuable. I don't know how well this one's going to go over in today's day and age. I feel like people are becoming very weirded out by conversation with strangers. I feel like we're very... at the store, I don't see people doing head nods and saying hello and things like that, which is fine. I get it. You don't want to say hello to everybody. You just want to get in and get out. But I feel like striking up a conversation with a stranger is like a 50-50 shot, whereas it's going to be received very well. And then others are just very almost like skeptical of why is this guy talking to me? It almost seems like we don't trust other individuals. And I'm sure we've given ourselves reasons not to over several years, as everyone having an ulterior motive for themselves. Whereas you're just trying to be nice and say something nice to a complete stranger. It could make their day. It could make their day. It could weird them out to hell, and they just run away from you. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Or just another person walking the earth, and then you move on to the next one. You could use words of gratitude more often, saying thank you, please, you're welcome, all that stuff. This one seems a little basic, but genuinely mean it. I guess that can work for you. To me, that's more thankfulness on here, but whatever. Compliment others and yourself. A lot of people who can compliment other people. I don't know how genuine a lot of compliments are these days, especially through social media. It seems like we're just saying what we are supposed to say to people. Oh, you look beautiful. Your baby is so cute. It's a fucking baby. They all look cute. What are you going to say? It's adorable. Your baby's adorable. Like, it's the same shit. Like, I get it. I think sometimes those compliments to others kind of become just part of what we say and what we do. It's just what we say. Yeah, you got married. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. This is wonderful. Most people aren't even fucking happy for you. I ain't gonna lie. I don't feel that. I feel like they are, they are because they feel like they should be. And some actually aren't, but they feel like they have to say something so that their insecurity, jealousy, envy, or ego doesn't show. It's a mask they're hiding a little bit in some cases. So it's got to be genuine if you're going to compliment others. But I think what would help more than anything is forget complimenting other people in this constant cookie cutter way of talking to people, but like compliment yourself. A lot of people don't like to do that. There's a lot of negative self-talk people have, which leads to these body image issues, these eating disorders, and other things, and low self-worth. This is all just talking negative down to yourself is all a recipe for self-dislike, and it doesn't help you at all. It doesn't help you grow and do anything. It's not easy to do. It's easy to say negative things to yourself and put yourself down and be a perfectionist and focus on all that's wrong. That's the opposite of gratitude, is focusing on the things that are not going well only and ignoring 99% of everything that is. That's how you piss gratitude away and have none, is by constantly focusing on what isn't done, what needs to be done, what's wrong, what needs to be fixed, and not looking at the bright side of it all and seeing this is good, this is fine, and being okay with imperfection. Like, it's obvious. That's what we need to be at. Like I said, it's easy for me to sit here and say that to you. It's easy for me to tell myself that I'm going to go ahead and live that way, but it takes work and it's confusing and frustrating. But I can tell you this, I believe that it's worth trying your entire life to live that way and think that way. And then it says to start your day and end your day with gratitude. Okay, so that's fine. That's a good way to go. I like that. Maybe you do it in the morning, you write, or at night you write something down in your journal, and then maybe you just meditate or think a little bit about what you have and everything each time and each day and make it a habit. That's where I'm going to go with it. And it's not easy because you have to actually feel it. And you can't force a feeling. It has to hit you. You have to break apart the thought process, and you have to break apart the feel. There's a big difference there. And I'm not going to get too heavily into that because I'm not an expert in it, and I don't want to come off as one, but I've come to some realizations about the difference between our feelings, our gut, and all that, and our thoughts, and our brains and minds and logic, and how they just aren't the same at all. And they feed each other in negative ways if we allow it. But that's another topic for something else. For me, who to look to for gratitude, I look to these guys like Elie Wiesel and Viktor Frankl. These are Holocaust survivors. These are guys that were in some of the worst situations that you can ever find yourself in. And I can't physically wrap my head and put myself where they were to take in this gratitude. I can only take in that where they've been and what they've done and read what they've said and try to implement it to my life, because the relativity isn't going to be there for me. Because I don't want it to be. I don't want to have to go through a Holocaust-like experience to find gratitude in my life. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to do it without that. And that's a good start. The fact that I haven't been through that is an extreme, but the fact I have not been through that and don't ever want to be is a great way to go. Viktor Frankl, he's kind of quoted himself with, he was in the concentration camps, and long story short on him, he basically changed his attitude, and he says, I can't control what is happening to me, but I can control how I respond and react to it. He's all about choosing your own attitude. I don't know how the hell he did this, by the way, so don't come ask me how, because to be in the situation of a concentration camp and what was going on at that time, I can't relate. And like I said, I don't want to, but I would suggest reading some of Viktor Frankl's or Elie Wiesel's work and even, understand what happened there and how these people have recovered and went through that hell of an experience and found gratitude. Amazing. One of his quotes, everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms is one's attitude given the circumstances to choose one's own way. So what he means by that is that, one thing they couldn't take from him, they could take anything from him, his family, his dignity, his well-being, his food, his everything, but they couldn't take away how he responded and how his attitude was in those circumstances. They couldn't do it, no matter what they did. If they worked him to death, they beat him, whatever it was, whatever he had to see, he took on that mindset. And that was really the only way he could have gone and survived it. If you think about that, I have no clue. I am baffled that someone can do that. But I guess when you are faced with something that harsh, you have no choice. So, and then he also goes on with something along the lines of, if you can't change a situation, you change yourself. And I think this is such a great way to go in life for these people who are yapping on social media all the time. It's you change this. This is your fault. Republicans yelling at Democrats, Democrats yelling at Republicans. Fuck all this, man. Like, think about it. Like, you change your fucking self, dude. Like, you can't change the damn world, especially not sitting in your couch tweeting. Frankl says, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And I think that's one of the best things you can go ahead and think about. Your situation externally might not change because A, you're not capable of it. It involves other people and their happiness and their path. And you just have to go ahead and deal with it, whether it's an illness, a relationship, financial things, whatever it might be. I think that's a great way to go. And it's very difficult to go ahead and do that. There's a lot of other quotes you can find from Frankl. Elie Wiesel has a great book called Night that documents what he had gone through in his life. So I highly recommend all of that. So that's thankfulness and gratitude, from what I've been looking into and getting into. So this Thanksgiving coming up, take some time to understand, what are we here for? Why am I doing this? I think we get so preoccupied with what are we eating? What are we making? Who's going to be there? How many chairs are here? Clean the house, whatever the hell it is. What time, how much space do we have on the counter? Can I get my casserole in the oven for 30 minutes because the turkey's going to be in there? Fuck it, man. Like to forget it. And I'm going to tie that into like the whole food thing with diet too. Forget it. It's literally 5 hours of your life. They're going to sit there. And what are you going to do? You can imagine sitting there at Thanksgiving, worrying about how many calories you're taking in right there and worrying that this meal is thwarting all of your progress. While you're sitting there worrying, you're also ignoring your grandmother, your aunts, your uncles, your family, your kids, because you're thinking about the food and you're thinking about who's going to say what and who's where and who's sitting where. It's like, just take it easy, man. Like, just let's take it easy. We got the food. We're thankful for it. Are we grateful for it? I don't know. We're thankful to be there. Sure. Are we grateful to be there? Ask yourself that. I'm going to ask myself that. There's another thing with food is like I was saying in my last episode, if you're clouded right now with food and like, nervous about Thanksgiving, try to tone that down. And if you can't do it right away, don't feel bad about yourself, because you're not going to destroy yourself in one meal. And like I've said before on social media, our American diet is trash for the most part. And many people eat like total garbage all year. Processed foods, fast foods, convenience foods. And we sit there and we're conditioned to think we have to get fat around the holidays and that this meal is going to absolutely destroy the 2 months. It doesn't make any sense, because what you're probably eating right there is better quality food, homemade stuff, when your regular diet includes fast shit from Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, and delivered pizza. So focus on your daily habits when you're worrying about fat gain, or especially around the holidays. Eat well around it. Don't throw in the towel. Don't go to the store and just buy a bunch of crap and say, fuck it, New Year, new me, because fuck it, I ate too much turkey on Thanksgiving. Come on, don't do it, and don't let it doesn't have to turn into a whole weekend of just gluttony. It doesn't have to. You don't have to do this. You don't have to gain this weight society just throws at you and says, look at it, you got to get fat. It's a holiday. Eat. Oh, come on. Just tune that out. Don't get nervous. Don't think about not going. Don't Tupperware any food. Just go eat the food and stop. Enjoy your connections. Enjoy your people. Enjoy your food. All that shit, man. Instead of worrying about it. So anyways, to lighten up this episode a little bit, I hope you got something out of that. I hope that I made sense. Again, this is sort of a newer topic for me, this gratitude thing. It's something I've been aware of for a long time, but it's come to that point in life where I have to actually start practicing it, instilling it, and getting there. So we're going to work on that, and hopefully I can do another podcast on gratitude and maybe many more as I proceed through this and learn more about myself and about others. So we're going to do that. But in relation to what we have coming up here, we got Thanksgiving. And one thing that, we're seeing people that are always bickering about, friendly usually, is what their favorite food is, what's the trash on the table, what's the good stuff, what do they look forward to. Now, there's all kinds of polls out there, and these are very limited. So I'm just doing this more for entertainment value and just to discuss, the holiday itself and the foods that we do have that are traditional here in the United States. So I got this list here of the most popular Thanksgiving foods in America. And these are the top 5 according to this website, crestline.com. The most popular Thanksgiving foods: mashed potatoes, turkey, gravy, macaroni and cheese, and bread rolls. That is what has been generated from this poll. Now, I think that's kind of strange. I'm not, obviously turkey, duh, mashed potatoes, obvious. Where the hell is the stuffing on that list? I mean, stuffing, unless you hate it, it's like the only food that's like truly synonymous and like associated with Thanksgiving only. I mean, you can have green bean casserole at other times. You eat turkey all year from the deli or wherever else. Mashed potatoes are a common side everywhere else. Where else are they serving you stuffing? Come on. Stuffing's the number one food for this holiday. I don't understand why this wouldn't even make a list. I don't know. Because when do you make stovetop stuffing all year round? I don't eat stuffing year round. I'm not saying you can't, but what the hell? I eat sweet potatoes year round, Brussels sprouts. Speaking of which, the least popular Thanksgiving foods, according to this, the first one is candied yams, sweet potato pie, sweet potato casserole with marshmallows, which every year I try sweet potato casserole with marshmallows. It looks so good. I don't like it. I like sweet potatoes, but I don't like it. I don't like the combination of it all, the texture. It's just gags me. That's all right. There's plenty of other food out there. Brussels sprouts. I never understood the hate for this food. I absolutely love Brussels sprouts. You throw little bacon pieces, goat cheese, maybe some balsamic. If you don't like balsamic, maybe throw on some a little bit of ranch or something like that. Delicious. You can even pair it with some dried cranberries. However, man, there's so many things to do with Brussels sprouts. Delicious. And then cranberry sauce, which I find relatively meh, blah. It's okay. It's there. I'll throw some on my food. It's all right. What else we got here? Okay, so we're going to go to one more site here and just kind of read this. Actually, a newer one here. That's kind of good. The worst Thanksgiving sides, according to Americans. Okay, so these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 worst sides, according to people. The candied yams shows up again here as the number one. I don't even know if I've had candied yams. I don't think we have those. Maybe there's a reason why. Green bean casserole. I mean, I can see it. It's crispy, watery. It's got green beans. I'm not a green bean fan. I can see that. Cranberry sauce, again, rears its head. Sweet potato casserole. Stuffing is here. Some people don't like stuffing. Only 12% said that, though. Salad, mashed potatoes, and dinner rolls. I don't know who the hell doesn't like a dinner roll, but they must be celiac or something and gluten-free and just be a little angry that the bread is there. But whatever. So anyways, that's it for me. Like I told you, I look forward to stuffing with a ton of gravy all over it. That's pretty much one of my favorite things, as long as it's made right. It can't be crunchy if you fucking burn it or whatever it is, or it's not fully cooked and there's a crunch to it. It ruins the whole thing. I do like mashed potatoes with the skins in it with a lot of butter. I think that's another thing to look forward to. Dessert-wise, I've always been a fan of pumpkin pie with some Cool Whip on that. Definitely a dark meat over white, but hey, it's leaner to eat some white meat, so I do a little bit of both. Gravy on that. And if you're going through it, like I said, I'll make my first plate, and anywhere I go all the time, high protein, high vegetables to start. So if I'm making a plate of Thanksgiving, look, I'm probably going to put a little bit of stuffing, a little bit of potatoes on my first plate, throw on a shitload of turkey, and then whatever vegetables are on there as well. I'll down that. I know I've gotten a ton of protein from there and some good vegetables, and then, screw it, it's a freaking holiday, so I'm going to go ahead and have another plate, and then I'll just put whatever the hell I want on that. And sometimes I won't even finish that. So there you go. That's how you make a plate to benefit you a little bit more if you really care. Otherwise, like I said earlier in the episode here, just do what the hell you think you want. It's a once a year thing, and there's a few holidays a year. Really, how many do we celebrate here in the United States to where we get together? 6, 7? New Year's, Easter, what else? Christmas Eve, maybe, Thanksgiving. That's really it. A few others here, some barbecues in the summer, and that's all we got. So the holidays, based on what we traditionally celebrate here in the United States, the holidays do not need hard dieting. They just don't, because they're so infrequent. It's your day-to-day that you want to focus on. And that and self-love, gratitude, and all that happy shit, that's all we need. That's what we need to do to keep going, because that's the long-term shit. If you are grateful internally for yourself, you'll treat yourself better, which means you'll eat better, you'll move better, and you'll think better, and you'll feel better. That's what I believe. That's where I'm going with everything here. I am a work in progress, so please remember I am never really preachy on here. If I do come off that way, I apologize, but I am just trying my best to put out there some good info that might help you and myself as well. I'm always open for discussion, like I say, and you can get in contact with me through social media, which is the best way to go. And that's Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And that handle is at MFS Wellness. You can drop me an email, mike@mfswellness.com. So I want to thank everybody, and I'm working on having gratitude for all of you who do listen to me. But you are an external source. So I am thankful for you, and I am going to have the gratitude side say, I am grateful that I have the ability to come on here with this equipment, with my brain and my life intact, to be able to do this podcast. So I am thankful for those of you who listen, and I will be working on self-gratitude towards this opportunity that I have provided for myself. I hope everybody has a very happy Thanksgiving, and until then, we will see you on the next episode.